Hey Ryan, this is Ali, and this video is the part of adding the generic sensor by using the SATWOT interfaces from the map. So I will show you. I think maybe Nick or you created a project like test unit by using the SATWOT interfaces yesterday, and I will show you how the data is saved in the DB. So first of all, I am in edit alerts interface. So you click on it and it will go and fetch all the saved information against data assessment, and there are four sensor basically we can install against some kind of assessment. So the first one is flow meter. So let's see, the flow meter is installed, and there are the meter unit for it is gallons, unit per pulse is 10, and the location for flow meter is outside testing area. Initial meter reading is 0. So first of all we need to verify the flow meter against that assessment. So okay, so here the distribution point, this is the flow meter distribution point data, like the assessment ID is 450 and as you know that the sensor location becomes the distribution point name in the database, and the GPS latitude and longitude are there, and the water sample type is distribution point because it is a flow meter, and this is the distribution point data, and if the distribution point ID is 36562. So we need to fetch the distribution sensor data based on the distribution point, uh, and where yeah, here you can see that this sensor information which is saved in the database for flow meter is the sensor type is SATWOT meter, again sensor location which is the sensor location of flow meter, and distribution point name and same, and port on communicator is flow, and the unit for it is gallon. Initial sensor reading is 0, unit per pulse is 10, sensor serial number is SN300, and this is all the information which is actually inserted by using the flow meter interface. So the next sensor which is installed on the port 1 is water level sensor, and there are these are the fields for water level sensor, like the sensor depth is 9, pump depth is 10, location is demo well, and the minimum value is 0, and the maximum sensor range value is 20. The unit for it is meters. So let's verify it in the DB. So first of all we need to verify it in distribution points, and here you can see that this is the distribution point data for water level sensor. The distribution point name, which is actually the sensor location, is demo well. The water sample type is chosen water source because we define it, and the distribution point ID for water level sensor is 36561. So let's fetch the data from the sensor. So here you can see that the sensor type for the water level sensor is SATWOT well depth, sensor location same demo well, sensor distribution point demo well, low calibration is 0 and high calibration is 20, port is 1, meter sensor unit is meters, sensor depth is 9, and pump depth is 10. So all the information is accurately inserted in the DB. So the third sensor which is installed on the port 2 is pressure sensor, and the minimum low calibration is 0, and maximum low high calibration is 100. The unit for pressure sensor is PSI, and the location is outside. So let's verify it in the DB. First of all we need to verify this in the distribution points, and so here this is the Distribution point for pressure sensor, distribution point name is outside, it is the sensor location, water sample type distribution point, and the distribution point ID is 36559. Let's fetch this from the sensors. 559, where it is. Yeah, so this is the sensor information, like the sensor type is set water pressure because it is a pressure sensor, and sensor location is outside, distribution point name same as the sensor location. Low calibration is 0, high calibration is 100, port 2, sensor unit PSI, and this is the information for pressure sensor as it is mentioned in the set water interfaces. So the sensor which is installed on the port 3 is a generic sensor. That is so this is a sensor which we inserted by using the other sensor interface. So first of all, the user select the other 420 mA sensor, and he typed that sensor type is ORP sensor, and the sensor range and unit are also there, and sensor serial number, by default the serial number is the same as like the project, but user can update it and assigns any valid serial number, because when you enter some kind of serial number here and click on update, first of all we verify that is this serial number is valid or not. After that you can update any kind of serial number and assign to the other type of sensor. So I will show you in the DB how other type of sensor data is actually there. So first of all, the distribution point for it. So here you can see that the water sample type is null because it is other type of sensor, and the distribution point ID is 36560. So first we need to verify it in the sensors. Here you can see that the sensor type for other sensor is generic sensor, and all other information like the low calibration is 0, high calibration is 100, port is zone 3, unit is MA, and serial number is same. And the other thing which which we inserted for handling any kind of other sensor is generic sensor type. We added this field in the sensors table to identify that is this sensor is belongs to the other type of sensor, or it belongs to some defined sensors like well depth, ORP, or any other sensor. So this is the way for inserting the sensors and information from by using the set button interfaces, and how data is persist in the database. So this is all of on my side, because I need to verify it that everything is working. So on my side everything is working. Please verify it on your side. You can insert it. And one more thing, Ryan, I see the email, and in the email I think Nick faces some kind of validation issue related to related to the ORP sensors, that he received the message that please enter the required fields in the ORP sensor. So this means that there are some fields which are required. Maybe I'm not sure about it. Maybe he missed some fields, and previously the minimum low calibration and the free calorie or the sensor output, we by default all the values are 0, and we implemented a check on it that the value should be greater than the 0, but now I updated the logic for it. User can enter any kind of value for on the free calorie, sensor output, low calibration, high calibration, and hopefully if user enter the 0, he will not receive this message again. So this is all from my side. You can verify it on your side. If you have any feedback, any question related to that stuff, kindly update me. Thank you.